Mr. President, I come to the floor today to talk about a different issue, and that is the need for more American energy. Right now, the American people are facing the worst inflation in 40 years. In November, we saw the biggest price increases from an energy standpoint in 10 years. CNBC reports that 1 in 5 American families could not afford to pay an energy bill this past year. Roughly the same number of Americans have kept their home at an unhealthy temperature because they can't afford the cost of energy to heat it. Gas prices have gone up by roughly $1 a gallon since Joe Biden took office. It's the fastest increase in gas prices in 40 years. The price of gas affects the price of everything else. It's increasingly expensive in this country to transport goods from the farm and from the factory to the people who need the products. As a result, the American people aren't just paying more at the pump, they're also paying more at the grocery store. So why are energy prices rising so quickly? Well, demand is up and supply is down. It's basic economics. Under Joe Biden, American energy production still hasn't recovered in this country to the levels that we were producing energy prior to the pandemic. Why would that be? Because this is a direct result of the anti-American energy policies of this White House. On his first day in office, Joe Biden killed the Keystone XL pipeline. He blocked new oil and gas leases on public lands all across the country. He stopped exploration for energy in the Arctic. He tried to ban exploration for energy on our coasts and off our coasts. He's threatened to raise taxes on American energy. So what happens? Well, as a result of this radical, anti-American Biden energy agenda, we're failing to produce enough energy in this country. And people who have the capacity and ability to do it and have worked those jobs for a long time are having a hard time keeping a job. America is now producing 1.4 million fewer barrels of oil each and every day than we were prior to the pandemic. We're now using more oil from Russia than we are from Alaska. This is specifically the result of the Biden policies. Joe Biden is attacking American energy. He's turning into a great salesman for Russia energy. I mean, why is it that right now we are importing twice as much crude oil from Russia as we did a year ago? It's because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden has even had his national security advisor plead with Russia to produce more oil to sell to the United States. I know, Mr. President, you may find that very hard to believe. Well, all you need to do is go to the White House website and read the sad fact. Just months after he killed the Keystone Pipeline, Joe Biden gave a big stamp of approval to Vladimir Putin, for his pipeline, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Kill the American pipeline, approve the Russian pipeline. Joe Biden's energy policy is pipelines for Putin, no pipeline for the American people, and the American people have been paying the price as a result. Seems that Joe Biden would rather have us buy energy from our enemies than have us produce the energy in our country and sell it to our friends. So as a result of the Biden policies, Vladimir Putin has hit the energy financial jackpot. For decades, Putin has used energy as a geopolitical weapon. What does he use it? How does he use it? Well, he uses it to coerce and to intimidate. And that includes our allies. Now, we saw this in November when Putin shut off the flow of natural gas to Moldova. By giving Vladimir Putin Nord Stream 2, President Biden gave Putin a new geopolitical weapon. And now Putin is emboldened, and he is flush with cash. Right now, today, Vladimir Putin is preparing to do something he has wanted to do for years. He has amassed over 100,000 troops on the border with Ukraine. With the Winter Olympics about to begin in China, Vladimir Putin is expected to invade Ukraine. If Russia invades, this will only worsen the energy crisis in that part of the world, but also here as well. Vladimir Putin is cunning, he's opportunistic, and he is aggressive. When he sees an opportunity, he takes it. Putin can smell weakness, and he views our president, Joe Biden, as weak and ineffective. The sledgehammer that we have against Putin is to shut down the Nord Stream 2 pipeline and do it permanently. Last month, this body had an opportunity to do just that. Yet Senate Democrats filibustered the bill. The same Democrats who voted to get rid of the filibuster on the floor of the Senate used the filibuster to shut down a bill that many of them have supported for years. Hypocrisy at its worst. So Democrats last week, based on lobbying from the White House, refused to sanction Putin's pipeline. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline is going to lead to an enormous transfer of wealth from our allies to our enemies. It's going to make our allies weaker, and it's going to make Vladimir Putin that much stronger. When Putin gets stronger and wealthier, what does he do? Well, he tends to become more aggressive. It's not just a threat to Europe, it's a threat to the whole world. That's why I've introduced legislation called the Escape Act. My bill imposes mandatory sanctions on Russian pipeline projects, and it expedites the sales of American natural gas to our NATO allies. We have the ability to produce massive amounts of more energy in the United States than Joe Biden and the Democrats are allowing our country to produce. And of course, the Democrats are killing jobs and hurting paychecks in the process. It's incumbent upon us to give our allies an opportunity to have energy and not be beholden to Vladimir Putin's supply. We need to produce it here. We have it here. We should be producing it here. Vladimir Putin knows how to turn off the lights. He knows how to raise energy prices in foreign countries. Can't let Europe become more dependent on Vladimir Putin for anything, and neither should we become more dependent, although that seems to be the Biden policy. Buy more crude oil from Russia than we were a year ago. Joe Biden in action. We need to expand our exports. We need to expand production of American energy, and we have it, and we have the capacity to do it. If you want to reduce inflation, and that is the #1 topic that I heard about in Wyoming this past week as I traveled around and visited with high school groups, Rotary clubs, people in diners, folks all around the state, and many, many communities. So why aren't we just producing more energy at home, and that will help bring down the costs at the pump, the cost to heat, the cost to get goods to market. We need to be producing America in this country, not be beholden to the far left extremists who want energy costs to go up on American people who are struggling to get by. Energy is called the master resource for a reason. It powers our nation, it powers our military, it powers our economy. The same is true for our allies. We should not allow our allies to fall into the clutches of Vladimir Putin, even though that's what Joe Biden's policies are doing today. We need more American energy, not less, and we need it now. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.